Absent-minded gamer here. Hey, we're back with another exciting new airplane. And this time it is a local legends number 9, the 631. This magnificent float plane has been brought to us by Microsoft and Blue Mesh software. It is incredible looking. The texturing, the interior, the exterior, there is so much to look at. And when you're sitting in the cockpit or any part of this aircraft, you can almost picture yourself sitting in the real plane. It's that good. So let's just take a look at this plane. The dock and the doors and all that stuff, that is all accessible via the cockpit, and I'll show you that later. But let's just take a look at the plane first. Isn't that gorgeous? It's just a magnificent plane. I couldn't have imagined what it had been to, must have been like to have seen these planes fly. I mean, it's awesome looking. But anyways, let's get into the history here. The first flight of the 631 was in 1942. There were 11 of them built, one of which was a prototype. From 1945 to 1955, they had a slew of incidents that cost both the loss of the airplane and the loss of passengers and crew. So that was kind of sad to read. So as you can see, there are 6 engines on this plane. They are 6 Wright R26 C14 Cyclone piston engines. The plane's max speed is 245 miles per hour. Its cruising speed is 185 miles per hour, and its range is 3,750 miles. So it's got some get up and go to it. And I mean, the thing looks heavy, it flies heavy, but it's a pretty amazing aircraft when you compare it to planes like the Clipper and some of the other American-made planes. This was it was a luxurious airplane for its time, and this plane was actually used by Air France and SEMAF, Société France Hydro, and was actually used by the Luftwaffe during the war. And one thing I would have liked to have seen is the addition of some seaports. If you type in the name of the airplane in the Microsoft search engine, it will bring up this one, and it's just a lake in France. But the plane actually operated in places like Argentina, Africa, and I mean, so it would be kind of cool to have some other seaports to fly from. Not just plop down in the middle of the lake. And I mean, this has a really cool tug, and I'll show you that here in a second as well. And I love that all the compartments are open. Check that out. I need to get those flaps up. I'm getting seasick. Alright, well, let's go ahead and go check out the interior, shall we? Alright. Beautiful airplane. Into the cockpit. The cockpit is amazing looking. Now, first time I loaded up the cockpit and I saw that thing in the middle of the cockpit, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought it was a wood stove. Till I actually started to play with it. It's not a wood stove. That's where your trim, your rudder trim, and pitch trim, aileron trim, rudder trim, and all that is. And all these little buttons do things. You do have an autopilot on this, so you can actually let the plane, it will hold its altitude and heading. So here's your main panel. This does come equipped with a GPS and comm radios, but you can actually remove that if you want to, and if you want to fly it old school. And I will show you how to do that. Excellent detail on the cockpit. I really want these guys to do a B-17. I'm holding out hope that we get a B-17 sooner than later. Compass. Now, I found kind of I'm assuming that's what they talked to the crew on? That can't be. They would have radio. Yeah, they have radio equipment. Must be some kind of vent. Or air vent. Then you move back here and you have your radios, your old school radios. And they do work. Can change them. I don't know if you can actually change the frequencies back here. Mouse code keyer. That's neat. That's neat. Really cool. Then over here we have the navigator station. Quite a view, huh? SQ intercom. Electrical. That's so all this stuff. Some of this stuff. Most everything does something. So let's go ahead and move into the rear cabin here. This would be probably engineer. Yeah, where they monitor the engines. Telephone, There's your engineer station. The detail is just unbelievable. Look at that. Oh, wow. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed at the work these guys do. Okay, I can't. Now I probably can open the window or open the door if I was using the That ain't gonna work. Okay, so now we're gonna call down into the cabin. We'll go up. Look at that. The bar. How would you like... This is like first class here. I mean, geez. Don't you wish airlines today could be like this? I mean, where going on a flight is an actual experience. Like it was back in the old days. There we are outside. I am just loving this plane. And this does have lighting throughout, because I was able to turn the cabin lighting and all that on. So that's interesting. Even a sleeping section. Look at that. Wow. Man, you were in it for the long haul on this plane. It looks like we got a leak back here, though. And this would be the bathrooms. Just a sink. Somebody? We got some water in the back cabin. Then we get up into here, and we are... There's your toilet. There's another toilet. Boy, even the toilets were nice. Then we get up into here. And this would be the kitchen. This is where they made all the meals. Isn't that awesome? I mean, this is like, dare I say it, like the Titanic of airplanes. Just marvelous work. I absolutely love this. I don't need to quit saying that, but this floors me. For $9.99, this floors me. And look at the detail. And it doesn't hurt my frames at all. My frame rates. My frame rates don't change at all when I'm flying this. And you wouldn't even know that any of this stuff is here. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get back up into the cockpit. So here we are in the cockpit. We'll get into the pilot's seat here. And that little clipboard right there will tell us everything we need to know and do. So let's go ahead and drop down here. Okay, so from this little tablet, the clipboard, we can actually go into general and we can have it set up for cold and dark. And right now I have all the doors open, hide, unhide the flag, hide, unhide the dock, hide, unhide the anchor buoys, hide, unhide engine covers. So we're going to take those engine covers off, and we're going to go out and take a look at the engine covers, or the engines now. Look at those monsters. There are 6 of them. I so want these guys to do a B-17. There's your engines. Your Cyclone piston engines. Okay, so back to the cockpit. Something else I really like. Well, I don't really care for my default pilot, but your co-pilot is at least accurate. I need to change that. Okay, so we're back into the cockpit, and we're looking at the clipboard again. So if we take away the buoys, take away the dock, we'll go ahead and leave the flag up for now. What's some of the other things? Here you can set your fuel, fill oil, refuel auxiliary. Also check your engines, cockpit lights, passenger lights. And this is where you hide and unhide the avionics if you don't want them there. And towing. Towing is pretty cool because if you're on the ground, you can have it start with this, and you can move it around on the ground by just pushing this forward, backwards, and it adds this onto the bottom of the plane. But if you're in the water, you can add yourself a tugboat. And if we go out and look now, we are being towed by a tugboat. Or I guess it's not. Would that be a tugboat? It's just a boat. It would be a form of a tugboat, wouldn't it? The La Mistral. Weather's looking a little freaky out there. That is cool, huh? Why do I want to drive the tugboat, too? Or I guess it would be a pilot boat, right? Yeah, there's no instruments in there. Okay, so back to the 631. Thought I got rid. Okay, so we're back in the cockpit again, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of the tugboat. To move the tugboat is you just set the speed here, and it will tell you where you want to go. And then you can also steer the tugboat or pilot boat using this, and it will take you where you want to go. Like here, I believe the actual port is over there somewhere. I'm not 100% sure, but there was a port in this area where these planes took off from in this lake. So let's see, what do we want to do next? We need to go back to here. We're going to close up shop here. Nice sound effects on the doors. And then I kind of like, we're going to close the front. And this is kind of, oh, look at that. That's the sleeping compartment for the pilots. Or the crew. That's pretty cool. I don't know how I missed that the first time. Then we click on that. Okay. So we want to put this guy away. Let's go and fire up the engines. Alright, so we're firing up the engines. Each engine has its own start sequence. And I like the flame effect coming out of the engine. That's pretty cool. Notice the light. The light even looks like an old light on a plane like this. Alright, we're fired up. Let's get back into the cockpit. We want to get rid of that flag. And we're going to take this puppy for a flight. A short little flight. I haven't tried to land it yet. It has really good sound. The sound on the water is really good. Interior sound is what I would expect it to sound like, what you would hear. I got it trimmed out. This plane does have trim, so you can keep it trimmed out.
Approach Foxtrot Bravo Alpha Hotel Golf is type 3 miles southeast of Lima Foxtrot Bravo for 700 feet. Request flight following.
Foxtrot Bravo Alpha Hotel Golf to no approach. Squawk 0566.
Squawk 0566 Alpha Hotel Golf.
Alpha Hotel Golf radar contact 4 miles southeast of Lima Foxtrot Bravo for 1,100 feet. Altimeter 29.92.
Roger Alpha Hotel Golf.
Then I'm assuming that are your flight rudder pedals and then rudder pedals for when you're in the water. Is what I'm assuming why there's 4 pedals. Too bad the whole crew isn't modeled here. Oh, check it out. Lights are on in the cabin or in the cockpit. So that's what I want to see, is what this looks like at night. Flight model is decent. It has a real heavy feel to it. It doesn't, I mean, this by no means turns on a dime, but it has a real good heavy feel to it, like I would expect it to. So can we open the, yeah, we can open the windows. So let's try our electric. And this also does have an APU. I can't remember where that was at. Yeah, okay, the cockpit lights and passenger lights are on. So let's go ahead. Very nice. Yeah, check out the interior lighting from the outside of the plane. Isn't that awesome? Oh, that is just beautiful, man. I have a real soft spot for float planes. I love float planes. I've always loved the Clipper. And here's the area, the passenger area all lit up. Pretty cool, huh? Man, that is just crazy to me. The level of detail is amazing. Have a drink at the bar. Alright, let's get back to the cockpit. I want to also look at the autopilot. Yeah, okay, there's your altitude hold. That's in such an awkward spot. Well, I can't. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. So that's the autopilot and the altitude hold. It must have to be set, which would make sense. And I don't know how to do that. So let's go back to daytime. Beautiful sunset tonight, huh? Get a couple more shots of this thing from the outside. So I think what we're gonna, that's the lake we took off from. So what I think in reality, the port is actually right here. And that's where the planes used to fly out of. So it would have been kind of nice to have had some scenery here that you could actually bring the plane up with and have the tug or pilot boat take you out for takeoff. But that's okay, you know. Can't have everything. Now, do the floats stow or are they stationary? That's the one thing. The landing gear key doesn't do anything. That was the other thing I was curious about. I would think that they just hang there. But if it's anything like the PBY, you might be able to bring them up. It does have a throttle friction lever. There's your throttles. I've yet to find the landing lights. Time to wake up. There they are. So I can't find anything for the actual. Check that out. Oh, that's neat. That is really cool. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try to land. So there's another spot. I guess I'm gonna have to do a little looking, see what I can find. See if there's a way to add seaports to some of this area. Need our landing gear lights back on. Nav lights are on. Very nice. Doesn't have a terrible learning curve. You can just jump in, undo it, and enjoy the heck out of it. Man, what an awesome airplane. Alright, well, you know what? I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this first look at the 631. Legendary aircraft number 9. I'm impressed. And like I've said before, I'm easily impressed. But I am just knocked over impressed with this one. I really like this one. I mean, I like the Caribou too. I love that plane. But this is just crazy good. So if you don't have it for the price, it's worth it. Even at $20, this plane is more than worth it. So If you're a premium owner of Flight Simulator, you can get it now for $9.99. I don't know what the other tiers run at. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.